Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is Wednesday. This week is flying. We did Baseball is Dead on Monday. We did Just the Nuts last night. And now we return for our midweek episode with none other than Eric Hosmer, who joined us in studio earlier this season. He is joining us today live from a
nursery. It looks like.
Yeah.
From a nursery?
He's getting ready for baby number 2.
Baby number 3.
Baby number 3?
Number 3, your boy's been fucking.
Damn.
Let's go.
Yes.
Damn, this dude's been leaving it in.
Practice.
We're having a
Hell
tough time
yeah.
transitioning from this cable to streaming situation.
Yeah,
but it's
I was
all
gonna
right.
say,
It's all right.
yeah.
I'm done after this one, boys.
Bro, buy a TV, play a board game. My God.
Yeah.
One time. Mix in a board game one night, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The plan right now is for us to be at the House of Blues on Tuesday, and it's pretty much like we are fucking ourselves so that we don't exude bad karma. Like, we could put the tickets on sale right now, but I can't do that till the Red Sox clinch. Like, if God forbid things went south, but we have tickets out there for a fucking playoff show, can't happen. So whatever, if we don't sell the place out, that's on me. That falls on me. Okay. So if we don't sell it out, you blame me for that. However, the second that they clinch, tickets go on sale. It's going to be a live show / watch party for the wild card games. And Dallas Braden getting on a bird flying in for this shit, I heard. Is there a rumor about that? Yeah, he got nothing else to do. The A's won't be busy. He'll be fucking. I'm not to throw any shade at the A's, because the A's are a big reason why the A's are a big reason why this event may be taking place. We may be able to clinch sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Eric Hosmer, who is expecting baby number 3 at any second. If the situation allows, we might see an Eric Hosmer appearance at this. Jayhay, all the Section 10 guys. It's gonna be a hell of an evening. It's gonna be a hell of an event. Very excited for it. So that is item number 1.
I gotta say, Jared, hey, that's good teammate shit on you for not putting the tickets out on sale yet. Because if you were the reason and they did not make the playoffs and you had tickets going, the chirp game, I know Dallas would be coming strong with some chirp games, and I'm coming strong too if that was the case, buddy.
Yeah, so like I'm at the point now where I just don't care about like the replies that I get on the internet. Like I don't look at them anymore. I'm firing. I'm throwing a grenade over the brick wall, and I can't see what happens on the other side. I don't care. But that one, I feel like that's the one where you put tickets on sale for a playoff show and then they don't make the playoffs. That's something that follows me for the rest of my career. That's not just like you get chirped for 24 hours. That's like, aren't you the guy that did that thing? And it's like, some people 5 years from now may only know me as the guy that put tickets on sale for a playoff show for a series that didn't happen. So
I don't know if we ever bounce back from that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So
good move. I commend you on that.
I'm willing to eat it in terms of like, we didn't sell like an extra fucking 500 tickets, or it's 2,200 capacity. I still think we could do 2,200. We just did 5,000 at Fenway. So like we can do 2,200. So I'm excited either way. Need the Sox to fucking lock it in, choke up, lock it in, and figure it the fuck out. That's what we need. We also need to download the Underdog Fantasy app. After I went to bed, Jayhay, did Shohei fucking sack up and get a hit, or did he wilter?
You want me to tell the truth?
He didn't get a hit, huh?
Well,
he's got no clutch gene, which is
no, he didn't get a hit, buddy. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
It's the classic walk isn't a total base problem for you.
What's Jared gonna do? How's he gonna pick the pick'ems if the 3 best hitters in baseball aren't getting hits, Jay?
Fuck off.
How's it gonna happen?
So I will say this.
Oh, here we go. Do we have time for this?
Well, you've got your trio in for today.
I punched one in. There's no Kurtz, there's no Ohtani, there's no Judge in my pick'em today. Pick'em already put in. Mr. Pena, who got removed from my pick'em, had to sub someone in for him. So I got TS10, I got Jazz Chisholm, and Who was the other one, Jayhay?
Jazz Chisholm.
Sounds like you gave it a lot of thought.
Jazz Chisholm, Stephen Kwan, and
Trevor
Story.
Yeah. I did give it a lot of thought, you fucking dickhead. I woke up early. I went on radio in Toronto at 9 a.m.
You're late here.
Yeah, no, I got shit to do, brother. I'm trying to fucking carry an industry right now. Sorry, I was 10 minutes late for carrying the industry. I also, excuse me if you hear a little drilling outside. I just installed the Fenway light show in my goddamn living room for you, and all the people. I'm doing that. So yeah, sorry for being 10 minutes late for having to fucking, be the leader that I am.
Well, we can address it later. That's fine.
But you heard what my pick'em was for today. You got to download the Underdog Fantasy app. It's Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as just looking at Dallas's pick'em, saying no thank you, seeing my pick'em and being like, I would love to take these picks. I would love to take these picks. And I have a strong feeling that if you are an individual who took my pick'em every single time that I put one out this season, and you look up at the end of the season, you'd be like, thank you for the down payment on the house, Jared. Thank you. You changed me and my family's lives forever. We get to live in a home. We moving out the 1 bedroom, the studio apartment. We now own a home because of you and your pick'ems. And to that, I say, you don't need to thank me. To me, it's just my job. Like I'm sure people come up to Eric Hosmer all the time. They're like, hey, Hoz, thanks for 15, man. Like it changed my life. Like, that was being a baseball fan for 40 years. That was the 1 year that I felt alive. And Hoz is just going to look at him and say, you know what? I'll just do my job. My job is to win baseball games. And in 2015, we did that. We accomplished the big goal, which is winning the World Series. And that's what I say to people that come up to me and say that I changed their lives if I pick them. I'm just like, that's my job. Jayhay texts me in the morning. I say, here are my picks, Jayhay. They go out and win 77% of the time. And I'm like, all right, cool. Fine. It is what it is. I love hearing the stories.
As long as they're not treating you like old boy from fucking Pink Floyd did in London. England.
Listen, I respected that. Did I tell Hosmer that story?
No.
Came up last night.
You want to talk about getting fucking leagued? I mean,
make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. And what a promo league? Code it is.
The fucking Tribal Champ got big league. The
People's
Champ?
It was so my favorite band is Pink Floyd, and I was
that's your favorite band too. No.
Yeah, I was in London. I mean, my whole arm is Pink Floyd album covers. So I'm in London. It's my dad's 70th, and we're doing a Beatles pilgrimage tour. I think it was day 1. This is like a 5-day tour. Day 1 in London, boots on the ground, walking down the street, going to the Sherlock Holmes Museum. And I don't know, I would say maybe 10 feet in front of me, David Gilmour, lead singer and lead guitarist for Pink Floyd, just turns the corner and starts walking towards me, walking his dog. He's not like followed by paparazzi. He doesn't have like an entourage with him. It's just David Gilmour and his dog. And turns the corner, starts walking towards me. I do the triple take looking at my dad being like, are you fucking seeing this? And it's him. And I fanboyed out and I went up to him. I was like, Mr. Gilmour, I was like, can I show you my Pink Floyd tattoos? And he goes, no. And just didn't break stride, kept walking, didn't stop, just kept walking. But that's cool to me.
This is day 1 of the trip. How do we bounce back from that?
Day 1 of the trip.
Did you still go to the concert? I would have been like, fuck this guy, I'm out.
There was no concert. We were there for the Beatles tour.
Oh, okay.
He was in town for, I think he was like promoting like a new concert film or something like that. But yeah, that's his MO. Like they hate their fans.
I don't know. So how do we feel about him now? Are we still?
Yeah,
is he still our guy?
Yeah, like
okay, I respect it.
Yeah, that's if you're a Pink Floyd fan, you almost expect that kind of interaction.
That's tough, though. That's tough. Day one of the trip, too. That's tough.
Day one of the trip. Just had to wear it. Just had to wear it. 6 hours ahead. Just like by the end of the trip, just exhausted, trying to watch the Sox. The game started at midnight.
Ugh.
Finished at like 3:30 in the morning. Then you got to be in the lobby local time at like 7 a.m. It was a rough trip. That's rough trip, and it started off rough. But you know what? You just gotta wear it. You ever give a fan a bad interaction? You ever been accused of giving a fan a bad interaction and it actually wasn't the way that they described it?
No, but okay. So I was deemed a hero one time, and it was the weirdest situation of my life. So we're leaving. I live downtown Kansas City. It was the Sprint Center, which is now the T-Mobile Center. And there was a Justin Bieber concert going down. So Post Malone, this is back in the day, Post Malone opened for Justin Bieber. So we go, a bunch of the guys go with their wives and girlfriends. Guys all leave the parking lot from the Sprint Center to drive out the suburbs downtown to their house. I live downtown a couple blocks away. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just walk back. So we start walking back downtown. A couple of the little girls, 14, 15-year-old girls recognize who I am. All of a sudden, this big crowd swarms over. People are swarming over, and like there's a bunch of people around me downtown Kansas City. So I'm like, holy shit, hold on, guys. Like 1 second, let me just go in here. So I end up sneaking into like McFadden's, this bar, go to my apartment, whatever. Get to the field the next day, and all of a sudden on the news, there's a little girl that's like, Eric Hosmer saved my life. Like I was on the floor and people were walking over and he just picked me up and was like, here, go over. And I'm like, this shit never happened. What's going on right now? What? So like this little girl and this mother deemed me to be a hero, and it's all over the news and people are asking me about it the next day. And I'm like, dude, I just left the concert. A bunch of people swarmed over and I kind of just walked out of the way, and I didn't save no little girl's life. What the hell's going on here? So yeah, opposite end of that, I've gotten some good love where I didn't deserve it.
I mean, credit to you. I would have been like, yeah, I picked up like three of them. Three of them
I definitely should have ran with it. I'm like, hey, I'm not a hero. Yeah. I was just doing what every other man would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is.
The other people
I remember seeing that video.
Somebody got it.
Yeah, no big deal. Got a bigger pop than Bieber. It's all right.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video, and I was like, damn, like. I was like, the Royals really got it like that in Kansas City. You know, what year was this?
That might have been 2016. That was probably like after we won. Yeah, 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah,
baby. That was a hell of a run by the fellas. We were actually talking about it last night on Just the Nuts. We were talking about team, like how like disappointing the Cubs were in terms of like they won their World Series, like I guess like disappointing cores that like didn't do more.
Right.
And the fact that the Royals had such limited resources and were able to get to 2 and win the second one. Like I think if you guys win in 14 and then it's like you guys get back in 15 but you lose, then it's kind of like the decline. But you guys got there. Like, all right, so here's something that I do want to talk about. Dallas can't speak to this because he played for the A's, but like the World Series hangover, is it real?
I mean, I understand what people say. Like from the moment you win the World Series on that next month and a half, I mean, you're going like, it's like Moose is going on a plane to Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going on a plane to New York to Jimmy Fallon. And like, you literally have obligation stuff to do for like the next month and a half. And your season's already a month longer. So it's like when you're done with all that shit, it's like, damn, I got to get back in it and I got to start hitting and get ready to go. I don't know if it's true or not, though, because the year before we went all the way to Game 7 and lost. Mind you, we didn't have all the shit to do after for winning, but we went right back the next year and won. So it's like, I understand that World Series hangover and I get that extra month. But at the same time, like us going all the way to Game 7 in baseball terms, it's hard for me to understand that because we played the max amount of games you can possibly play, and then we bounce back the next year. But I don't know, man. There is something to that because I do think the hangover in the month after of all the obligations, all the stuff you're doing, maybe it does drain you just being on planes back and forth. But who knows, man?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it in terms of like the shit that you have to do after the World Series. Like I'm just thinking about the Dodgers and how, you know, you've got guys on teams where they always have October off. So it's like, what's your excuse for not being one of the best players in the league, or at least in great shape by the time you show up to spring training? Like you have all of October to be getting in the gym, getting your body right. And these guys are playing baseball every single October. Like they're deep runs for the most part. And 2 out of the last 5 seasons, they're capping it off with the World Series title. So they are being the celebrities and doing the shows and having the appearances and going on all these trips and stuff. So I don't know. I'm looking at the Dodgers this postseason, and I'm paying attention, because I feel like this year they were supposed to be these world beaters, and it's not like they haven't been good. They've been great. Like they're going to win their division again, but I feel like people expected 130 wins out of this group, and it hasn't obviously been that. They're not even the best team in the National League. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, are they fucking conserving energy for October because they know what it takes? Like, I don't know.
That's exactly it. And I would like to hear what Dallas thinks about this, because my whole thing is they're conserving energy because they are a team that fully expects to be in October. And it's almost like they treat the first month or two of the season like a spring training. Like if you look at their guys, the way that they pitch, the way that they use the rotation, the way that the position players are kind of ramping up, they're not really treating that first month or two like it's the regular season. I remember when they got out to a hot start in April, everyone's like, they're going to win, like you said, 130 games and break the record. And it's like, I don't think they will, because they're not trying to. They're just gearing up to get all their stuff ready for October. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs in football the last couple of years, from weeks 10 to like 16, teams are like, or people all across football are like, what's going on? Is this team okay? But they were literally just getting their guys healthy, gearing up for the playoffs. So Dallas, that's what I think. I hate to be that guy, but like when you were in the league and when I was in the league in those early days, it felt like the urgency from pitch one in April was there. I think the competition now, you have teams like the Rockies, it allows teams like the Dodgers to be able to set up for October. What do you think?
No, if you have the depth that you are aware of and you have the depth that the Dodgers do, that's exactly what I think teams are trying to do is, all right, let's see how we can start to deploy this depth. What does this depth filtered out over a 7-game stretch look like, so we can start to see what our matchups look like? And it's almost like you're playing a simulation early on to prepare yourself for the last month of the season. Because what I've talked about over this last month is, and for the Athletics, not in a position to go to the postseason, but everybody you are playing is gearing up to do so. And what you are going to run into is a completely different brand of baseball at this time of year. And so it would behoove the Athletics to match that energy. I want you to learn how to get the bunt down, the proverbial bunt down, in the 7th inning with 2 on and nobody out. I need you to understand, and I need you to be able to acknowledge and address when the game is asking you to do certain things that are going to help us win championships, because that's the kind of brand of baseball we need to be playing right now in September, not the kind of baseball we were playing in May and maybe even in June, right? That was, to your point, Hoz, that was the recon mission. That was getting a feel for who we can rely on in these leverage spots. This is who's been able to bounce back from, 2, maybe 3 in a row. Like, we're going to get a lot of information here, but we got to do that early if we're going to prepare ourselves to be able to fire in September and October. So I also look at it like it's teams who understand what they're capable of, but need to check these boxes.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, too, the Dodgers have been on both ends of that. Because remember the year before against Arizona, they didn't score a run that whole first series. They get booted out by Arizona. And it's like, oh, were they just chilling the last 2-3 months of the season? And they all of a sudden tried to turn it on and it didn't work. So I feel like the Dodgers have been on both ends of that. And there's really no one's perfected it. Nobody knows what the formula is.
And so now think about it like this: is you have the Dodgers who have been labeled world beaters, supposed to be world beaters. To your point, Jared, going to win 130 games. Well, they're not in that position right now. They are still chasing a division. And when I say chasing, I mean they're leading the push, but they've got the Padres on their ass right now. And that, for me, can only mean positive things for the Dodgers, because you are playing important games at the most important time. So maybe that puts to bed any narrative of the world beaters not having anything to play for right now. Like, I get it, you've punched the ticket, but there's still something bigger at hand here. There's something that we are pursuing. And I think that has to bode well for a team that needs to be playing a better brand of baseball at this moment in time right now. Because to watch what happened last night for the Dodgers was, oh my God, it was despicable. It was despicable. Mm-hmm. I cannot see, I don't want to see Ohtani turn in an outing like he did last night and then have all of that just go by the wayside because the bullpen, and even more specifically, guys in that bullpen that you have pinpointed to be doing the heavy lifting, can't get the fucking bar off the ground. I can't have that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, what if I told you at the beginning of the season that we would be going into the last 5 games of the Major League season and the Dodgers, the Dodgers are in first place as you expected, but they have more wins than one division winner or leader. They have more wins than one first place team in all of Major League Baseball. That would surprise a lot of folks. I feel like that's I would ask what went wrong, who underperformed. I think if we were to answer those questions now with the benefit of hindsight, we would say, all right, well, the starting pitching had a long list of injuries, but I mean, it's not like they didn't have anyone that was done for the year. It was like, yeah, like Blake Snell was hurt, but when he came back, he was awesome. Like Yamamoto, he had an injury, came back and was awesome. Clayton Kershaw was the opposite. He was healthy and he was awesome, And
we had this conversation earlier. Remember, this is right when I brought up Roki Sasaki and the guy who's been missing from this equation. Like there's been a lot of different.
He'll be back today.
What's that? Yeah,
he's activated today. He'll be coming out of the bullpen.
That you could identify, and that right there, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. If Roki Sasaki can come to the table with his shit together and can actually contribute, this team looks that much more different because that is an arm that you have not factored in to any extent. It is an arm that has quite literally been a hurdle in your way. It has been the boulder in your path to success. And you have been tasked with moving this boulder and taking it over here and having guys try to chip away at this thing. Can we knock the fucking corners off? Can we round this thing out so we can get this boulder rolling for us? So it can do work for us? Because right now it's just in the fucking way. So if Roki Sasaki shows up and that motherfucker's got smooth corners and is rolling out of that pin, shit looks a little different, boys. A little different.
Yeah, so with Roki Sasaki coming back, I think if best case scenario, he makes 2 appearances over the last 5 games?
Well, I mean, you would, depending on how they plan to use him. So this is to the conversation that Hoz and I were having. You don't have the luxury of April or May outings, right? There is no quote unquote soft landing spot for Sasaki right now. So you are looking for the safest landing spot. And I don't know. I'm not Dave Roberts. Is that a +4 before we can see Sasaki in a win? Is it a -2, right? Like down 2? Is that when we feel comfortable putting Sasaki in? Like, hey, we think he can keep it here? Or is it a game where it's like, let's just get him out there and let's see how he responds to the energy of the big league mound again, big league opponents? Like, but the clock is ticking. You're going to need to get answers to that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave Roberts was on the record as saying, this was probably at this point, a month and a half, 2 months ago, talking about Roki being like, yeah, I mean, don't know if he's going to be a starter when he comes back. Don't know if he's going to be a reliever when he comes back. Don't know that we can promise him a postseason roster spot when he comes back. Let's say, for example, it is 2 appearances that the Dodgers are able to use Roki in these last 5 games, and the velocity is electric. The ball's jumping, spin looks great, everything looks great, and they're clean outings. That's not enough runway for me to be like, yep, I'm using him in high leverage spots out of the bullpen in postseason games. Like, there's just not enough time to know this guy's going to be a guy for me in October. So if you don't have enough runway to know if he's going to be a guy, is he someone that you just keep because the stuff looked good in the 2 games? Or like, what role does he serve? Does he make the NLDS roster?
That's why I said Sasaki right now is a recon mission. Whatever it is you think he fits into, that's what you have to be looking for. That's how I would think you want to go and deploy him right now. But the problem is, do you want to find out that Sasaki shit is not there in a 2-run lead in the 7th inning? you probably don't. I'd rather not find out that he's not prepared for it or that he's not ready for it in that spot, because it's a walk, it's a couple knocks, it's a bomb, and then he's out of there. And you're going, well, fuck, that was a win that we really needed because now we're WC1 spot instead of a division spot. That's not good. That's not good. Is that how you want to find out?
And look at their top 3 guys right now, man. Like, you're going to be taking innings or an inning away from that. Snell, Yamamoto, those guys. For me, if Roki Sasaki goes out there and dominates those 2 of 5 outings, whatever he gets out there for, if I'm Doc, Dave Roberts, I'm still scared to death to put him out there in the postseason, because think of all the stuff before you signed him. His agent came out and said, oh, I want to sign with the low market team. He's a low key guy. He doesn't really like the attention. Well, you get to the fucking postseason, man, the whole entire world is watching, and Japan, they're all watching. So the pressure is going to be times 10. And that's one of those situations where the Dodgers have worked themselves out of that first round bye. They're going to end up facing either the Mets, whoever claimed that last wild card spot. And if you put Roki Sasaki in there and he can't find the strike zone and walks the bases loaded, that could be your series. So I think if you see the stuff in those 2 to 5 outings, then it's like, okay, we can use him if we need an inning or 2. But his confidence has to be regained in a postseason, going out there, getting outs. And you're just going to hope that he continues a trend to get better and better throughout the postseason. But I'm going to be holding my breath for if I was Dave Roberts every time I threw him out there.
Well, and Hoz, this is because I need to know the personality. And this is where having a pulse comes into play. Because if you're Dave Roberts, you're essentially faced with 2 decisions. Do I get him in the ball game when we have the lead? And maybe it's a lead and it's a spot where we need an inning cleaned up, right? We just need 1 out to get us out of this inning. Whoever it is, maybe Moto is going through the 6th inning. He's got 5 2/3 under his belt. Doesn't have the matchup that we like, and for whatever reason, Sasaki is ready to go. We're comfortable with it. Is that when you get him in the ball game? When you feel like, hey, there's a guy on base. We've got a 4-run lead. If he gives up a 900-foot homer, we don't care. We just need to get him in the ball game and see if he's viable. You can do that. But again, you run the risk of watching that W disappear. Or you could put him in the ball game where you're down by 2. But then does the pressure of being down and feeling like I have to get these outs. I cannot afford to let another base runner happen. I can't afford to let that guy get from second to home. Does the pressure of that situation melt him? And now you were down by 2. Now you're down by 5 because he pissed down his leg. Like what you got to find that out though. And that's where you have to find it out. There's no we'll see when we get there. Nope. We've got to have answers now.
Got to. And ideally you would want to bring him in that situation. Like you said, a +4 or a guy on, and you can, hey, just get this out, get the next inning. Let's see how it goes from there. But when you look at the postseason last year, man, like when I think of the postseason, when I think of New York, the Yankees, Cleveland, all these teams, you're going to have to count on guys, maybe even for a start, let alone innings to give you leverage. Like there's going to be these bullpen days where the bullpen's worn out and we got 3 or 4 innings that we need to count on you and we need you. So I think that's the talk when Dave Roberts says, hey, he's got to earn a roster spot. You need every single roster spot on that roster, because last year I remember it became like, are the Yankees going to start Stroman? Are they going to start Cortez? Are they going to bullpen guys, but we're going to need 3-4 innings out of one of them. So that's where he's going to be put in these situations if he's on the roster, and you got to find a way to get him in there to get confident. I bet you he went down to AAA and they literally just said, hey, throw your splitter for strikes. Teams are just spitting on your split and hunting heaters. Let's try and change whatever the scouting report, whatever the book on you is. Let's try and change that. So when you get back up here, these teams can't just have a one-minded, simple approach of anytime we see the splitter, we're spitting and we're just hammering heaters.
That right there is the risk that the Dodgers run by rolling him in there when he is unprepared and not ready. Because I know the minute I can smell you guys smelling the blood in the water, and he can smell it too. And the minute that they take that first split that he thought was a bastard coming out of the hand and he doesn't have an answer for it, trouble ensues.
Oh, yeah. That's when you get the back foot step off the rubber and it's a he knows he's in trouble, buddy.
Fuck,
but think about it, man. You go flinch. Not even flinching. He's going to the Mets first round if it looks like what it is right now. And then it's probably going to be San Diego if they end up beating the Cubbies. So I don't know where those like low pressure spots are for him to get comfortable. He's got to realize it's go time right now.
Yeah. It's gonna be go time on Tuesday too at the House of Blues if and when the event takes place, because we're gonna be watching ball. We're probably gonna be a little boozed up, but I have to tell you about this game changing product that I've been using before nights out. It's called pre-alcohol. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. We're all getting old. Dallas is his license is in hieroglyphics. But I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. And let me tell you, if there's a surefire way to wake up feeling fresh after drinks with friends, it is with pre-alcohol. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is a drink. The world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. And here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down this byproduct. And just remember to take pre-alcohol, your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. It's very, very simple. And fall is here. It's time to enjoy cooler weather. Time to have some drinks out with friends, whether you're enjoying a pint at a fall festival, a spooky cocktail at a Halloween party. Don't forget to drink pre-alcohol before drinking. You'll be able to celebrate and still wake up feeling great the next day. Just go to zbiotics.com/BID to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use BID at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% money back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund you your money, no questions asked. Just go to zbiotics.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout for 15% off. Okay, last night on Just the Nuts, we got started early because there was a 6:40 start in Cleveland between the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Guardians. This game was either to move Cleveland into a tie for first place in the AL Central, or it was to get a little bit of breathing room for the free-falling Detroit Tigers, who have been god-awful in the month of September. But it's okay because they sent their stopper, their ace, their MVP, their future two-time Cy Young Award-winning ace, Tarek Skubal, to the mound. It didn't matter, but not necessarily Skubal's fault. The Guardians are just so goddamn pesky. Didn't even need to hit a single ball out of the infield to chip away at Skubal and send him to the showers without a lead in hand. It was classic Guardians baseball. I will kick it to Justin Havens, our resident Cleveland spokesperson, for his reaction.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be with you last night as well, to experience it in person. It was fantastic. And I got to say, Skubal is probably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. I think there is a real mental advantage that Cleveland has gained over, if not him personally, then that situation, those situations, the fan base in general, maybe even the team. Like, I don't know, in the postseason, it was the back-breaking grand slam after very little action leading up to it. And last night it was no balls leaving, not only not leaving the infield, but not even leaving the dirt, as was noted to me this morning, not even hitting the dirt, as was noted to me this morning as well, which makes it seem all the more silly. So, yeah, I mean, it was Gavin Williams gave them a shot. And I believe, not to make this about me, but I do think there is but there is an unsurprised element to this, because we were talking about this yesterday. Dallas backed me up. I said that the vision here is that Gavin Williams keeps them in the game long enough and is competitive enough with Skubal so that Cleveland's bullpen is able to chip away at that game and the offense can break through against Detroit's. And that's more or less what happened. Gavin Williams at the end of the day was just as good, if not better, and in fact more dominant than Skubal was with 12 strikeouts. And Cleveland took care of business from there. So it was It's been an awesome ride, an unprecedented ride. This is the greatest comeback in modern baseball history. It's the greatest collapse in modern baseball history if those things end up happening. But either way, it's been last night was a triumph for Cleveland, I think.
Last night was incredible to watch unfold because you watched a guy in Tarek Skubal who is out there and has been every bit of the world beater he's been over the last 2 years. And I mean, it was electric early out of his hand. 100 up and in under the hands, nasty changeups away. He broke out the slider. It was just a fantastically pitched ball game between both of these dudes. And then it felt like for whatever reason, a absolute meltdown occurred. Just a complete and total. And I'll say this. Can we just stop for a second and acknowledge the size of the nuts on Tarek Skubal to make the attempt at the play that he did, the bunt, the fucking between his legs. And I'll be honest, I don't know that he has a shot to make that play in any other fashion outside of that right there. If he takes the other half step or whatever it's going to take for him to get around the ball as a left-hander, field it, open up, and make that quick little throw all in one fell swoop, that's going to be tough for him to execute. So a tip of the cap to just try to get that done, try to make something happen. Unfortunately, that's when shit starts to unravel, right? And now you got base runners moving up. You got the balk. I mean, it just felt like there was nothing that could go right for the Tigers in that moment. And every baseball play that was unfolding was going by way of the Guardians in that moment. And I said this on the broadcast last night. Guardians fans, well aware of this. And if you're not a Guardians fan, let me just remind you. Everybody in that clubhouse right now is powered by an individual who was told his entire career what he was not going to be able to do. His entire career, he was told, this is the role you will actually serve. You're not built for that. You can't do that. And Stephen Vogt, every step of the way, has said, hold my fucking beer. This is a dude who, in his last big league at bat, walked up and pumped one out of the fucking yard for his wife and kids who were in the fucking broadcast booth announcing him for the very last time. You think this dude ain't ready for the moment? You think he doesn't have those boys geared up with plenty of perspective on what lays in front of them? Them with their slingshot in hand, staring at Skubal, that big one-eyed fucking giant? You think that they weren't ready? Oh, they were fucking ready. And they're going to be ready. This is why this series pained me to watch, and this game pained me to watch, because of how much fucking love you guys know I have for Scoobs and who Stephen Vogt is to me in my life. Like, I was torn. But God damn it, if you think that these Guardians are not ready, you are sadly mistaken.
Also,
I believe.
Also, I just want to call out something too. Like, I know every fan base is better when the team is interesting and all that sort of stuff, but shout out to the fans and the atmosphere in that stadium last night, because that was legitimate playoff atmosphere stuff. Like, Cleveland has not produced, some of the turnout that you have wanted over the bigger picture at times, but they have risen to the occasion in moments like this more often than not. And that was fucking electric last night. And you could feel whether the crowd does something for the players or not. I'll defer to Dallas and Hoz on that, but certainly
they definitely do.
It led you to believe that sort of thing is possible last night when they broke through in that game.
Hey, I tell you right now, like Cleveland, I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to see postseason baseball in Cleveland and in Seattle, because those are two places that absolutely fucking pop. Pop when the boys are rolling.
Cleveland's always been like that. They've always answered it, Jay. Hey, you're right, man. Because I remember the one year that they were going, what was it, the 20-game win streak or whatever the crazy win streak was. They walked us off on like game 19 or 20, and that place went nuts. And then the next day, it was a turnaround day game travel, and it felt like nobody left the stadium. Everyone was still there, and it was rocking. But you look at Cleveland, man, like you said, Stephen Vogt. I damn sure believe in Stephen Vogt as well, Dallas, because this dude is a baseball player. I know he grew up, his parents were coaches. he's a coach. He's fundamentally sound. It's so refreshing watching the Guardians, a ball to left field. Stephen Kwan plays it off the wall perfectly. They execute a perfect double cut home, Arias with a cannon. Like they do that stuff left and right. And then to add on top of it, he knows all the numbers. He knows that stuff. He knows that when to plug the guys in. But you look at, like Dallas said, Skubal's out there throwing 101 up and in, dotting his changeup, dotting everything. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to play small ball. You got to get him off of his rhythm. Some of these teams, like the whole time last year, everyone was talking about the Yankees and they're a one-dimensional offense, and it's true. Because if they go out there and Tarek Skubal is throwing like he's throwing, what is your adjustment? You're one-dimensional. You can't. You're just going to try and hit homers, and you're not going to hit homers off him that day. It shows you, man, you try and make a crazy play on a bunt. All of a sudden, the balk happens. I don't know if you're winded. I don't know if you're a little gassed. What's going on? But it just throws these pitchers off the rhythm. So credit to Voter out there. Credit to Cleveland. Credit to the fans. I can't believe I'm giving Cleveland fans some love and agreeing with Jayhay in the same sentence all in one. But, man, it is refreshing to see, dude. It's refreshing to see. And then on top of that, man, Cleveland, look at what they've gone through this year, dude. You lost your closer. Obviously, everyone knows why. To bounce back from everything they've been bouncing back from is fucking unbelievable. And again, here's another thing too, man. There's a lot of teams right now, and I'm not putting this on Cleveland because honestly, I might have done the same thing in their situation. But think of how many teams have sold at the deadline. And if they would have just continued with their team and believed in that team they had, where would they be right now? Where would Arizona be with Eugenio Suarez? That's where some of these teams, man, in Detroit on the other end, how the fuck do you not go out there and load up your roster at the trade deadline? You're 15 games above whatever it is. You got Skubal. You got the best pitcher in the game. Like, shame on you for not going all in at the deadline, trying to be conservative, and look what happens.
Good point.
Question for Hoz and Dallas. Take me inside. Obviously, you can't, but like, take me inside the Detroit Tigers clubhouse right now. Do they know that, like, is there enough time to rebound from this? I mean, it was a 15.5 game lead on July 9th.
All that, Jared, you got to stop
now,
all that.
But I think it depends largely on the individual. But there has to be a number of individuals in that clubhouse right now that it's like, fuck, man, we blew it, versus like, all right, fuck them, like we're gonna take it back.
You have to acknowledge how much time you have left on the clock, though. And I don't think, from a leadership perspective, I don't think it would be doing us any favors to try to beat the group over the head about what we have not been able to do here recently, because that's obvious. I think the more beneficial mindset to adopt, with 72 hours left in this fucking thing, or however, we got 4 games left. I think the beneficial mindset to adopt is to shorten the season and put it in perspective. This is what we do. This is what we're so good at doing, is forgetting about all the bad shit that has just happened. And let's start over today. Let's start right now. We got 1 game to win. Each one of us have an at bat to win. Let's win that at bat, and we'll check back in our second at bat. I have an inning to go out there and win. Let me go do that. And I feel like if we just get back to taking care of business, boys, we are the team that had a 15 game lead. We are the team that had a 2-week lead. We are more than capable of that. Baseball happens. We know that. But this is the time that we've got to get it together. And I have all the confidence in the world in everybody in this room to be able to do that. So if you want to sit and cry and bitch and piss and moan about shit that has not gone well for us, well, we can do that now. And then let's all get together in October and we can live stream one of these postseason games that we're not going to be in because we're fucking crying about it right now. What do you want to do? What do you fucking want to do?
I tell you what, if I'm the other veteran guy in the clubhouse right now, I'm fucking bringing a drink right to the back of the bus with Dallas and said, hey, buddy, that was a hell of a speech in there. And I'm ready to run through this brick wall with you tomorrow. But goddamn, that was a gut punch, bro. We just had Tarek Skubal on the mound. We just had our guy. He just lost, and we did. But there's no question you want to rally and be ready to go. But man, that was a gut punch, bro. To have Skubal on the mound and lose against those guys, and these guys aren't dummies. You see the matchups every day on the wall right there of all 3 games, and they know the other matchups for the rest of the series, man. And it is hard to stop that team right now. They have so much momentum. Cleveland, that is. I don't know if I'm Detroit, man. I'm definitely going out there saying, hey, we got to get that momentum back somehow, some way, because right now that's a gut punch, man. It's hard to get back from.
Well, they've lost here's 7 straight games. I mean,
and the kick in the dick is, Jared, they're coming back. Brother, you know who you face at the end of this thing. It's another team in the Red Sox who are they're looking to get to where you're looking to get there.
We're
this is no
fighting too.
cakewalk.
Yeah, I think the magic number for the Sox is 3.
You are now in the fire.
I'm hoping that it's wrapped up before then. I mean, obviously a nice little clinch party this weekend at Fenway would be fun, but I don't. The sooner the better. I'm not going to be picky about how or when. Just fucking get me in there. But I don't know, man. We talk about flipping a switch. You know, like I'm talking about, like the first team that comes to mind is the Blue Jays. Like you've got guys in that rotation. Like Bassett's been hurt. He might be back for the playoffs. Bo Bichette's been hurt. He might be back for the playoffs. Berrios has been bad. Can he flip a switch? Like the Blue Jays, for as good as they've been and for being a division leader for a majority of the season, they've got a lot of guys that need to flip that proverbial switch come October if they're going to be the first place team that people think that they are. But in the case of the Detroit Tigers, man, it seems like what team that has lost 7 straight just goes on a fucking run like that? Like, how many times do you see that?
Oh, it takes a you have to limp around the track a few times before you start to get your footing again. Before you feel like, all right, now we're back in a spot where I think we could sprint. We might be able to take off and go on a little run here. But right now, they are limping around the track, and you have no time. Runway has been a theme we've used today. There is no runway for you to get back. So this is where you hope you have enough firepower to limp through the finish line and it actually means something. And if that's the case, then you pick yourself up and dust off and get ready for October and say, God, that was an absolute nightmare how that just ended. But thank God that regular season nightmare is over. Now, can we just get back to what we were doing before that happened? Let's just try to remind ourselves of what we're capable of. For the Blue Jays, I mean, they've got, you mentioned Bassett coming back. They're going to be leaning on, I'm trying not to fuck the name up. Yasevich, is that right? Is that how you say his name?
Sounds
Starter?
Good. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Hoss.
I know who you're talking about, so that way,
that dirty motherfucker. Yeah, yeah, because that's gross. They're going to be leaning on a young guy there. Like there's
that's kind of the story of the postseason. A lot of these teams are going to be leaning on these young guys to come up. When they paid some guys, they got veteran guys there. But look at the Mets, Toronto, like you said, they're going to be leaning on young guys that they did not think that they would be leaning on come October.
Love it.
Toronto's in a tough spot, man. Toronto, they were playing their best baseball in the middle of the season, and they haven't been playing, up to that standard last month or whatever it's been. But a lot of question marks, man. I went on a Toronto radio station at one point in time last month, I think, and flirted the idea of maybe throwing Mad Max in the bullpen, seeing if you can get some innings out of Scherzer, whether it's closing or setting up for Hoffman, just because that's a lot of arms on that, or a lot of miles on that arm, man. And if you see the stuff and how it plays, and even against Kansas City a couple outings back, Salvi's a guy that hasn't really seen Max well throughout his career. And all those at-bats, he was on everything Max had. And I don't know if that's him trying to, pitch for 5-6 innings and save some stuff. But Mad Max is a guy, dude. You throw some of those LED lights that's getting installed in Jared's house right now, you put that shit on for Mad Max, he's going to come out there guns blazing. What you got, Jayhay?
Since Scherzer came, I know Jared's about to hit him. Since Scherzer was brought up, though, like he goes today, I believe.
Yes.
Is this is this
Crochet?
like
First Crochet, yeah.
I don't want to be disrespectful to his place, obviously, but like, is there somewhat of a you need to show something in this start? Because the last start was like obviously an epic disaster. You can kind of put that one maybe in a bucket as, it just didn't go right. I think it was 2/3 of an inning, 7 runs. So whatever, everybody has those at some point. But like, you go back to the end of August, over 5 starts, he's got a 9.45 ERA, and it's not like the preceding 4 starts were particularly impressive prior to the disaster. Like, I just, you said they're in a tough spot. Anybody can, this is for anybody really, but like, I just wonder like what his role really is right now if you're starting the postseason roster conversation.
Well, Jayhay, I mean, it ain't like they got a fucking orchard of arms to choose from.
That's part of the yes.
I guess to your initial question, is this an outing that he needs to show something? let's rephrase the question. I believe this is an outing we would like to see something a little different from Max Scherzer here. Because what we have seen here recently, I don't know how excited we are about that. What is he capable of? Well, we're aware of that. Is he there right now? Probably not. But
and that's a way easier conversation for the Toronto Blue Jays and that, Schneider, the manager of the front office, to have with him than if he's in a Washington Nationals jersey, than a guy that's had 3 Cy Youngs, 2 Cy Youngs here, won us a world championship. And it's like, hey, Mad Max, thanks for all you've done. But listen, we're going to throw you to the bullpen here in the postseason. For me, that conversation with Toronto is way easier. It's like, hey, man, like, this is our first crack at it in a long time. Like, we need you to show us something. If not, your role is going to be a little different than what it usually has been in the past. And I think Mad Max knows that. He signed up for that, and he wants to win too. He'll be more than willing to do whatever.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't strike me as a guy who is going to let an ego at that point in time. When we're talking about winning a ring, is that why we're here? We're here for the ring. Yeah. What do you need me to? I'll fucking polish the rings if that's what you need. If that's going to help us win another one, I'll go do that. What do you want me to do?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking every bit of the 41 that he is now, and it sucks. But yeah, Toronto really needed to win this series. The Yankees are playing the White Sox right now. It's just tough timing. I mean, the White Sox scheduled a loss last night. They were winning in the 9th inning. Threw a fucking ball to the backstop. What was it? Michael Taylor out there just like looked at the ball in the fucking air and like waited for it to fall in before he started running towards it. And the White Sox are a fucking joke, man. But that 9th inning in particular was more of a what's the word I'm looking for, Jayhay?
Farce?
No, there's a word that like a small segment kind of like captures the larger picture.
Like a microcosm?
Yes, microcosm. Yes.
Oh, micro. There it is.
The 9th inning was a microcosm of their entire season, where it's just like, you are an unserious franchise. You're obviously not good at baseball, and you shouldn't be taken seriously. That's what that 9th inning was against the Yankees. That should have been a win. It was not.
It was funny to watch, though. I'll be honest. Like,
yeah,
when you're watching a game like that in that moment, and you're like, oh, this is good. Holy shit. He almost threw that over the backstop. That's
it
aggressive.
was a fucking joke, but
and then Taylor quite literally like doing
he watched
like
it.
Karaoke
he thought,
to the fucking
bro
ball.
thought he was in the stands. Like he was like, oh shit, that might fall in. Well, yeah, because you're not trying to catch it. That's why. It's fucking crazy.
Hey, but you know what, man? That is part. Yeah, we're getting the leg lead. That's part of the battle, though, man, of what the old school baseball guy versus the new number guy, right? Like just whoever live and die by whatever. So like it used to be when you get called up to the big leagues, you not only had to prove in the minor leagues through your production that you're good enough, but at the same time, you got to prove you know where to be on the field at all times. You got to know what position, what base to throw to. We got to keep a double play in order. We just talked about Cleveland, how fundamentally sound they are. There's so many guys that get called up to the game now or to the big leagues that don't know the game. They don't know where to be. They get thrown to a position they've never played before. So how do they know where to be? And I think, again, man, I've been saying it. That's why we see so much sloppy play. And we're watching Major League Baseball. Like, how the fuck? How is this a Major League team? How is this team? How is it 20-2 right now? Like, we see that all the time in Major League Baseball today. It's terrible. I hate it.
It is.
Wild.
It is. But I mean, like, I feel like, I look at it this way, right? For every shitty team that we think is shitty, there's an A's team where it's like, yeah, they're not going to the postseason, but if you pay attention, you watch the games. It's like they have one of the best lineups in baseball. Their pitching sucks. Like they can still do some damage in the batter's box.
The starting rotation has struggled because we got essentially one of the best bullpens in baseball.
Their pitching sucks, Hoz. Like
just the starting rotation,
it's just not good.
Struggled.
But they can slug you to death. They can win in a slugfest for sure.
You got something to build around there,
right? No doubt. Like it's not even like I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like the future is bright. I would say the present is tolerable. Like I can sit there and I can see star caliber players in a lineup. Like I would rather sit down and watch the A's hit in their lineup go to work than the Red Sox. I don't think that's a crazy take.
No, they got Rooker, the lefty over there. What do you call him, Dallas? The
Big Amish.
The Amish guy, what
Big
the Big Amish? He's that kid can fucking hit.
He's the
man.
pick'em
I
king.
love
He's the pick'em king. He's
He
exhausted.
I love his swing.
Every
So does-
time I dial up Nick Kurtz for my pick'em, he's like, "I got you. I
Led
got
the
you
game off
every
last
single
night
time."
with a double.
Yeah.
First pitch double. Bong.
That's all I'm saying. Like he carries the load every single day for me. I had a question for Justin Havens. He pitches tomorrow. I'm talking Shane Bieber. You're watching this run that the Guardians are on right now. They're the hottest team in baseball. They've been the hottest team in baseball for a few weeks now. Is there any part of you that's like, we probably should have kept Shane Bieber? Like the return wasn't worth what keeping Bieber could have done for this team?
So this is going to probably sound a little blasphemous and maybe potentially bite me in the ass stuff come postseason
Oh, you're off
time.
Shane Bieber.
No. I'm not in any way off Shane Bieber. I don't
Can't
think
believe you said Shane.
hold on.
He's about to say he's not a difference maker, I think.
What I'm going to say is that I don't think his contributions when Cleveland has made this push would have been a difference maker for Cleveland over that stretch, because his ERA in September is 4.13, as we covered on the podcast 2 days ago. That would actually be the worst of any pitcher that Cleveland gave starts to over that stretch by like a full
rough
run.
Rough first start to the month. Outside of that, he's been sparkling.
It's fine. It's very possible that Shane Bieber could be an asset for this team in a postseason series, although I've sort of also seen that movie, and I'm not so sure that this version of Shane Bieber has a greater chance of, I don't know, not disappointing me in the end. I don't know, a little bit than the previous one did. I don't think. I guess part of my answer is that I'm more glad that they didn't sell Stephen Kwan, because that was something that I advocated for. I think I said I was more pro than anti that, because I felt that his value would probably never be higher than it was right now. And that may still prove true, but them not trading him, I think, has been actually a more direct value add for why they've been winning and what they've needed during this stretch than having Shane Bieber would have been.
Hey, Dallas, let me ask you, the one thing that would worry me about Bieber and acquiring him this year at the deadline, and even with Biebs, it's different because his style, he can locate, he can spot up, he does all that. But bouncing back from Tommy John, like what's a realistic time frame that you can say, all right, he's back, he's healthy, but when can I expect Biebs to be like full on Bieber mode, like all the way back from Tommy John? Because I feel like that first year guys get back, they're still not all the way back, if that makes sense. Stuff-wise, it doesn't look like their stuff is like lights out or whatever. Go ahead.
No, Hoz, you know how it is. You are quite literally trying to feel the ball in a way that you haven't felt the baseball in a long time. And that is that can mean anything from actual feeling, nerve endings. Like, do I just have the same sensory perception that I had before I got clipped? And that can take time because nerves regenerate about the same rate as your hair follicle, which I believe is like 1/4 of an inch a month or something like that, maybe even smaller than that. So it takes a while. So if they're, just for those nerves to bounce back. But I was talking about this last night. It's a great question because I mentioned it with Christian Javier for the Houston Astros, who is coming off of a similar situation, right? UCL reconstruction, made his 8th start last night. What can you reasonably expect from a guy like this right now? And are you comfortable with what you're seeing right now? And enough so to where he's going to factor in for you in the postseason. So for a guy like Bieber, who at this point in time, and you said it, has great command of the baseball, doesn't have the same ticks that he used to on the stuff, but has an incredible idea of how to go about it. And so for him, I think if what you're seeing over these last 4 starts to knock the one that was bumpy off of Jayhay's list, you like what you're seeing.
Right.
So if you're zooming out asking, well, how long is it going to take for him to get back to Biebs? Yeah, I think you're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 plus starts before you get back out there and you feel like, all right, you know what? I think I'm back. I think I'm over that. But right now, what you're looking at, I think what you're asking is what we're seeing from Biebs right now. Does that give you the confidence that he can go and compete and do what you you're going to need him to do. And to that, I think what he's giving you is more than enough to be competitive. More than enough.
And I love that you brought up Javier because that's a perfect comparison. Because Christian Javier is a guy, he's got life on his heater. He's going to throw it at the top of the zone. He's kind of one trick. That's his heater. That's his game plan. He's pitching off that. So if he doesn't have that life on his heater, it's going to be very tough for him to have success. Biebs is a guy where it's like, all right, my heater isn't playing. I can just throw a changeup. I can throw some sliders. Like he can adjust if he doesn't have the life on a certain pitch versus Javier with, if he doesn't have that zip on his heater, it's a completely different at-bat that you're facing him on.
And I just watched that unfold last night, right? 95, it was there. It was just up, it was out, up, it was out. He's trying to live on that top rail. Couldn't quite get it back down into playland. Yep. And pitch count got chipped away at, and ball game was done for him.
Yeah, that was money. That's a money comparison.
I guess, before we move on from the Guardians conversation, they are deadlocked. I know it feels like the Guardians took the lead. They do have the tiebreaker. Yes, Jayhay? Mm-hmm. Yep. They do have the tiebreaker. From this point forward, Hoz, who is winning the American League Central?
Oh, Cleveland, no doubt.
Dallas?
You want to throw a jersey on it? I'm surprised you haven't brought up the jerseys yet. Let's fucking throw a jersey on it. I'm ready, baby. Let's go.
By the way, you fucking owe me a jersey. You and Dallas owe me jerseys.
Yeah. Listen, the gold plates, it takes a little longer for the gold to get in there, okay? We're going to get it, though. We're going to get it there.
That's fine.
It's going to go baby jersey. We're there. Don't worry. We're getting there.
I've waited a year for Dallas's jersey, so I can wait a couple months for my Hosmer jersey. Okay, Dallas, Cleveland, Detroit.
Well, I think this makes it easy for me because Skubal can only have so much to do with it. And I think he's done his part. And I get accused all the time of like ball washing my guys. Dallas, he literally just there's no bigger ball washer in our podcast universe than Dallas when it comes to Skubal. Like he's afraid to pick Cleveland because he thinks it'll upset Skubal. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Say
no,
it. Go ahead.
No, you're not. Go. You're trying to write the fucking story and you don't know the script, pal.
Go ahead.
I'd like Skubal's done everything he can. He's done everything he can.
Sure can. Yep.
So his hay
win that one last night, right?
His hay is in the barn. His hay is in the barn.
Yep.
I just told you everything I did about Stephen Vogt for a reason. Because I am on. And no, fuck that. I am captaining the Vogt boat. All right? I am captaining the Vogt boat. Because I believe in Stephen Vogt. And I believe that he has these boys ready to rock. Bound for destiny. I'm going
It's Flaherty versus Bibby tonight. Or BB, whatever. Bibby.
Yep.
Fucking third time's a charm. Cleveland's got this.
I think so, Oz.
There's a jersey on the table if you guys want that bet or not. There's a jersey on my table in the nursery right now. There's a jersey laying down there right now if you want it.
Kids, he's got the Dallas disease already. He's betting his children's jerseys, 45 minutes into one podcast.
Yes. When you retire, Jayhay, you need something to feel alive.
Yeah, I bet.
I need a rush, dude. The
good news is that Bobby's only allowed one run and 2 outings against the Tigers this year. So good luck to him.
Yeah.
Telling you.
So are we a clean sweep? Guardians taking the division?
Well, I'm obviously not going to take the Tigers. Losers.
I mean,
Tigers offense kind of one-dimensional right now, or kind of, how do you produce runs if you're not hitting homers?
They're just waiting for Riley Green to hit homers, and that's it.
They can't build an inning right now. Yep.
Yeah, they're the best base running efficiency team going first to third, but you gotta find a way to get on first.
You see Riley Green's face last night when he was informed that they struck out 19 times.
Yeah,
I did see you. That was a good.
He was flabbergasted. He was like, "Hold on, who did it?
Who did?
Us? Oh shit! Like, oh my god! Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I feel badly for Tigers fans, but I just don't I don't know. Cleveland also deserves it. They deserve it. They earned it. This is just as much of a come up as it was a collapse. Like when teams, I don't know, like there's certain divisions where I think we were quick to call it a collapse when it's not
there's
really
been
so much a collapse.
There's been no two better dance partners for this though. Like you needed this, you know what I mean? Like these two teams needed each other for this to happen. Like the Tigers.
It was a 15 and a half game lead. So
I know, bro.
It was a collapse, but like Cleveland has just gone from the depths to a legit postseason contender.
All the credit you want to give Cleveland is fine. It is 100% a collapse, and it would be categorized as I think Coley said it last night on JTN, like the small market, big market, East Coast bias thing swings both ways. And that's, if this was happening to a New York or East Coast based team, what's happening to the Tigers, it would be the number one story, maybe in sports, let alone in baseball every morning. And that it's like the last time. This is the largest collapse or comeback, however you want to look at it, in basically the history of the sport. Like the last time Langs had it, the last time that you had a larger deficit overcome to tie or take the lead in the division or league was the 1914 Braves. That was literally the year that World War I started. I mean, that's how long ago we're talking. This is a collapse, and they have to own. They got to own that. Like I just don't know psychically how you come back from blowing this. I know how sports works, and I know it's possible that they win the division and then they're just in the playoffs and it's just awkward because everybody's like, wait, the Tigers in the playoffs?
Like you guys are here?
It almost feels like narratively inappropriate for the Tigers to actually get in now and for the Guardians to not be in, because it just feels like we've reached the conclusion that this team can't overcome this, right? Like,
because we put it on a tee and we said if they come back and they even this up, it's over, which is why it feels like the Guardians have a 12-game lead right now because they came back and tied it. When you have a 2-week lead in the division, 2 weeks worth of baseball games, you have between you and the next, and now that's gone. We are dead even. We have no momentum. They have all of the momentum.
They're not dead even though. I mean, technically, it's like
Cleveland has a one-game tiebreaker.
Yeah. If you're in Detroit's clubhouse at the trade deadline, and I'm an older veteran guy that's going to chirp, and I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind. It got me escorted out of one of my teams and kindly traded to another team. How the fuck, if you're Detroit Tigers, Red Sox legend, baby, got me on this podcast right here. Probably it's everything's meant to be. How are you going back in that clubhouse after the trade deadline, looking at San Diego, speaking of, getting Mason Miller, flooding their farm system, take everybody? Who is the one player in your farm system that you don't want to get off of to not get Mason Miller? Like, you're Tarek Skubal. You're the Detroit Tigers. You guys have a major lead on the division. You're going to be in October. Why do you not go and just get what you need, the best of the best? Look at all the closers. Like, they didn't do anything at the deadline. They went and got depth. But, like, go and get that horse. You're in that clubhouse being like, damn, must be nice to be a Padre. Must be nice to be a Philly. Must be nice to be this team. And we're not doing shit like that. The season goes in halves. If you make it to the deadline and you're in the postseason, and if you're a player in that clubhouse, you fully expect to reload. And anything, any position, whatever's the kind of the down part of the team, you've had 3 months to figure that shit out. Now we need to go make moves. And they didn't. And I think that's deflating, man. That's deflating for a clubhouse, even for the manager in the coach's room.
No question it's deflating. I think to an extent, though, Hoz, there's probably a thought that says, we have a 15-game lead. I think we're in a spot right now from a business standpoint where we don't need to get crazy and make this big commitment or make this big move to upend our system. I think we're in a spot right now where if we're just trying to be competitive here, I like the odds of winning division with a 15-game lead. At the very least, I like the odds of being able to backdoor a trip to October with a 15-game lead should things get weird. But now here you are. This is what happens when you take that sort of approach is baseball. Baseball happens. You lose your 2-week stretch. You did nothing to support yourself. And now the back door into the postseason is closing on you quickly. You went from throwing the party to not being allowed in the fucking parking lot.
And it's like, Jayhay, let me ask you, who is that one prospect that, Minnesota wants for Durant or Oakland wanted for Oakland as part of the deal? Like, who's that one prospect that's like, no, we need this guy here for the next 6-7 years for the future to not go all in and win that World Series? Like, is he that much of a dude?
Well, I think Tigers fans would respond that I think they believe they have two such players. They have Max Clark and they have Kevin McGonigal. And both of those guys find them. What's that?
Give me Max Clark.
Yeah. And I think, this is going to be a classic case of hindsight too, I think, because it really is a what perspective, what side of history are you on? Because the Tigers were not praised in some quarters, but I think they were assessed as correctly being prudent in their approach because they were 99% to make the playoffs or whatever the exact phrasing from exact commentators were. It was like, you're already in. So what do you need? If there's not something that's going to be a difference maker for you in the postseason, now Mason Miller may have been that piece, then maybe we don't do as much. Now I think it looks a lot like complacency, and it looks like sitting on your hands. And with the way that the rotation has gone specifically, which is more or less crumbled around Skubal post-deadline, like I do feel like it looks like a mistake. Now, prospect people will tell you Kevin McGonigal is one of the top 5 prospects in baseball. Max Clark is routinely on top 10, top 15 lists himself. So this may prove to be the right approach if that's what people were asking. And we all know, like, we don't have to play. We don't have to be unfair, right? We know there were a limited number of actual difference makers available at the trade deadline. And if the Padres put the guy that they put on,
Leo DeVries or something.
DeVries.
If they put DeVries,
ranking, by the way.
Right. So if Mason Miller, if we're using him as the guy that the Tigers did not go out and get, it's entirely possible that the Padres made them an offer that they felt like was superior to anything else that maybe was realistically going to come for them or that any other team was offering. So like, I think the Tigers are going to have to own this. Scott Harris is going to have to own this as a front office if they complete this collapse, or really, like, we were talking World Series for this team. So like, I know that the goalposts move as the season goes along. And now it's like, can this team just fucking claw into the postseason? But we were talking, this is a World Series contender. They have all the ingredients to win the World Series. And in fact, what makes this such a tragic situation, if you're a Tigers fan, is that according to most analysts and people who are talking about the Tigers, you had most of the ingredients to prevent this sort of thing. You had the stopper, you had the best pitcher in baseball, and you had a guy who was being discussed, probably still is discussed, as one of the very best managers in all of baseball, one of the best clubhouse commanders, tacticians, bullpen guys. People were blowing the shit out of AJ Hinch's bullpen management, like a couple of months ago, certainly last postseason run. So it's just funny how this stuff goes sometimes.
Yeah. And that's where, to me, it almost takes away from a Tarek Skubal and what he's doing right now. And you're almost discrediting him in a way because he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. Hands down, there's no doubt. You essentially are saying, watch the postseason last year, one game, game 1 is ours because we got the guy. Game 2, let's start putting those pieces together and add up. And you didn't pay Skubal yet. Skubal's about to get 300, 400, whatever million he's about to get. It's a situation where it reminds me like in Houston a couple years back where Dallas Keuchel was like, yo, this is bullshit. We need to go out and get somebody. And then they went and got Verlander in that August deadline and boom, it got him over the hump. That's where I almost feel like Max Clark is a dude, right? There's no doubt he's going to be a stud in the big leagues. And I'm not comparing him to Bobby Witt Jr., but say if he's on that track. Bobby Witt came up. It took him 2-3 years to come up out of high school. His first year, he turned it on towards the end. And then year 3, year 4, we started seeing that top 3 MVP type thing. You're still waiting. If that's the track that Max Clark is on, you're still waiting another 4 or 5 years for that. Like, don't take away from Skubal and what he is right now. Like, that's where you build around. And that's, for me, if I'm in that situation, I'm saying, I got the guy, I got the manager, like you're saying, I'm going to give him the pieces and let it all work.
I think ultimately, let's just remember that if you're a franchise that hasn't been overly competitive in regards to the free agent market, that you're probably okay with how things were shaping up this year in terms of your competitiveness and what it cost you to be that competitive. You were looking at this like, well, this is a huge win, right? We did not do much to get here. We are here. Let's ride this out. Well, this is what happens when you ride it out with no idea of how to support it.
Yep.
I support Ridge wallets. I know that.
Good to hear.
Always have, always will. I know Dallas is a Ridge wallet guy. Jayhay as well. We got to get Hoz on the Ridge wallet train. It's unique, slim, modern design that holds up to 12 cards plus cash, made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. Over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from. All Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet that you'll ever need to buy. Does it give you peace of mind knowing that all Ridge wallets have RFID blocking technology, keeping you safe from digital pickpocketers? They also have over 100,000 5-star reviews. Losing your wallet is the worst, but with Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where it is before panic mode sets in. And Ridge isn't just about wallets. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99 risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. And for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off Ridge by using promo code BID at checkout. Just head to ridge.com, use the promo code BID, and you're all set. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that BID sent you. I did want to I want to get to the Cal Raleigh thing, which is very funny. But I did kind of want to talk about the Mets. You always got to talk about the Mets. There's always room for Mets.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
Mets won last night. Big comeback win. They hang on. Nimmo with the big blast, 3-run tank when it looked like the Mets were going to cough that one up against the Cubs at Wrigley. They do get the win. Edwin Diaz with the save. I don't know. I feel like you, Dallas, you were out on the Mets. Are you back in? They
tried to fuck it up last night. Juan Soto
they tried to fuck it up, but they didn't. They won. The Mets won.
Figure eights out.
The Reds lost. The Reds lost, and the Reds have Paul Skeens today. The Reds have Paul Skeens today.
That's the matchup of the day, by the way. Paul Skeens, Hunter Green. Check that out.
Okay, so where are you at now? Oof. Are the Mets getting in or no?
No, I told you no.
So you think the Reds are going to be able to beat Paul Skeens, and the Mets aren't going to be able to keep this rolling?
Well, are we going to act like Paul Skeens pitching well and the Pirates losing is something that's never happened before?
No, that's fair.
Okay, so yeah, and especially when the other guy on the other team is really fucking good too. Hunter Green, ever heard of him? Pretty good. Good. Yeah, I think if I'm sticking with the narrative of the Mets fucking this up, then that's how that has to go. So yeah,
Hoz, yes or no?
Way.
Do the Mets get in?
So the Mets end with the Marlins. I'd be interested to see how they match up throughout the division against each other.
So Hoz, I'm glad you asked, my friend. I'm glad you asked.
On cue, baby. Hard copy.
The Marlins finished with the Mets, as you just pointed out, and that series right now is tied at 5 apiece. The Marlins are tied with Arizona and Atlanta for the 4th most wins in the National League in the second half. So don't just act like that's a fucking done deal. All right. The Mets are 26-34 in the second half since July 17th. So, well, that means the Marlins have been just a little bit better of a baseball team in the second half than the Mets have. So don't look at that last series like it's just a roll-up job for the Mets. Just roll in and we take this thing. It ain't that. It ain't just set in stone. So don't sleep on how that thing is going to finish.
No, it's not. I think the Mets are going to get in, man. And the reason why is this McClain dude. His breaking ball is filthy. I don't know if you've seen the metrics on it. It spins at like 3,400, whatever RPMs, and it's the top of the top, and he's filthy. I don't know why the hell he was hitting in the first place. I know he was hitting in the minor leagues last year with this breaking ball. So I think if he's got 2 more starts in him, I know he throws tomorrow, and then he's going to have 1 more against the Marlins. I think the Mets get in. Do the Mets have the tiebreaker for the wild card over those 2 teams, or would they go and play another game 163?
Well, no,
they don't do that anymore, do they?
No, the 163.
So over Arizona and Cincinnati, both are 1 game back.
I believe the Reds have the tiebreaker against the Mets. Let me double check that.
I'm going to stick with the Mets. I'm going to say the Mets are getting in. Young arms. They're relying on their young arms.
Yeah. Arizona. I know Arizona finishes with San Diego, and Arizona and San Diego are actually tied at 5 games apiece in their series as well. I think Arizona, they split a 4-game set back in July with them.
The Mets lose the tiebreaker against the D-backs and the Reds, if applicable.
Mets lose the tiebreaker. That matchup weirdly favors Arizona because San Diego is probably going to be lining their guys up, so they're not really going to be playing, all out to win, so to speak, in that situation. So I like that for Arizona, but I don't know, man. The Mets with Soto and Lindor, it's crazy to not see them make the postseason. I just can't see it happening.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm trying not to get poisoned by Met fan negativity. Mets fans would tell you we're not making it. We're not making it, or I don't want them to make it. Mets fans are poisoned. Well,
that's where they're at. They don't want them to make it at this point.
It's either or. It's one or the other. But I'm telling you right now, the Mets are getting in, whether you like it or not. They will be in the postseason. The Cal Raleigh thing from last night was very funny. I feel like this. We obviously know he's a very good player, but I feel like this is the postseason where we get to find out more about the personality of Cal Raleigh. I feel like he's been very reserved and laid back. He's a shy guy. He's not an outgoing personality, but I feel like the postseason is going to bring out a Cal Raleigh that we've not experienced yet. This was Cal Raleigh last night after the Mariners clinched a postseason spot.
Hey guys, like you said, we love you. Might as well go win the whole fucking thing.
Now,
we do love Cal Raleigh. We apologize for his excitement.
Oh, fucking save that, dude.
We apologize for his excitement.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Cal Raleigh,
fucking electric.
I'll say this. I don't know that Cal is shy. Cal is just not, social media, internet extrovert. He's not the dude who's...
That's what that means.
Well, no, when you are around him at the ballpark or you're around him like in the clubhouse, it's not like he is waiting to be brought into the conversation.
There's plenty of people that are like outwardly whatever, a vibrant personality with their friends, but when you turn the camera on, you put a microphone in front of them, they're going to be more reserved. That's Cal.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you said shy, and I'm like, well, I don't know that he's shy because you see some of the other interviews he does and stuff. He's not. He's going along with it. He's having fun. Whatever shtick is being laid down, he's going back and forth, but he's not. He's not fucking.
And I tell you what, man, how can you not rally around that dude right now if you're in the Seattle Mariners clubhouse? Because the big thing with Seattle all throughout my career was Seattle in the second half, they're going to collapse because it's tough travel and it's just hard to play there. It's hard to maintain your energy. That second half with all the travels. I mean, you're going. Back when Sacramento now, probably about a 3-hour flight. Oakland was their shortest flight, 3 hours. So you're worn out by the second half. For Cal Raleigh to do what he's doing as a catcher and then to win the home run derby and take all those swings during the All-Star break to bounce back the second half and continuing what he's doing, it just feels like that whole team is rallying around him. You see the pitching staff loves him. I mean, Gilbert, anytime he does an interview, goes out there, messes with them. All the other guys love him. It's hard not to look at Cal Raleigh as the MVP right now of the league. And it seems like Seattle is not only in the clubhouse, the whole city's rallying around him. And I hate that fucking announcer apologized for that because that was amazing right there, what he just said to the fans live on the field, whatever that was. Keep that energy up there, man, because it's rocking in Seattle. And Dallas hinted at it in the beginning of the show. That place will be rocking come postseason, man. And they can feed off that home field crowd and the big dumper goes deep out there. It's going to be electric.
Well, especially
I was
on
there
the heels
in
of his
2022
season.
when the Mariners made the
High
playoffs for the
voltage.
first time in 20-something years. And that was the 18-inning game against the Astros. This was before the wild card was a series. It was the one-game playoff, and they hosted it against Houston. 18 innings, no runs. It was just, I mean, they were just desperately waiting for a reason. Like, they were loud. Everyone was on their feet for the entire 18 innings. And, I mean, there were certainly like moments where I think, someone hit like a double or like a big strikeout, like they would get loud, but we never got the moment of like a run being scored. There was like that moment. I feel like, fans get really loud. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, they've made the postseason. Yeah, they've made the postseason one time since 2001, but they haven't had the chance to celebrate a fucking run being scored in the postseason since 2000.
No, their biggest celebration here recently, I think, was, what was it, 20? What are we in, 25? So was it 20? Yeah, 22. It was they hit Cal Raleigh hit the homer against us to go to the postseason, and that play. I mean, I couldn't hear a fucking thing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that it goes differently for Seattle this time around. The fans deserve it. It's a great fan base out there in Seattle. They were waiting a long time for something to cheer for. So they will have another chance at it this October. The Mariners are in. Did I see? Is this real? Oh, okay. Yeah, so then the last thing that I wanted to get to today, no surprise, they are going with the ABS officially next season. Is this sooner than you thought we would see it? Like, I was a little surprised at like how soon it was. I knew it was coming, but I didn't think it would be ready to roll opening day.
Well, what I instantly thought of is, does this decision mean that they've already made a bigger decision on the automated zone as a whole and have settled on the challenge system being the best instrument of implementation when it comes to revamping a strike zone in our game? Because the challenge system still allows the human element to persist to the extent that it does. If you are just automating the strike zone system as a whole, really the umpire just becomes the arbiter, right? And there's really not much responsibility outside of, well, I mean, there's a lot because it's the rules of the game, safe, out, things of that nature. But the hitter-pitcher confrontation being what this game is geared around, I have always said, until you start to prioritize getting the most important part of our game correct and accurate, which is whether it's a ball or a strike, because of how much the game and approaches change based on count leverage, until you're ready to nail that, I don't really want to hear anything else. And so it feels like, well, we're getting as close as we can possibly get to nailing that by saying, all right, hand up. We want to keep the human element here. We're not going to go fully automated, but we do love the idea of empowering players to get a call to go their way. And here that is. Here's your option to challenge calls. So we understand how it works, right? You get two, you get banged on them, you lose them, you win them, you keep them, and it's got to happen immediately. It's only up to the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter. You can't get help from anywhere else. I love this idea. We can get into the punishments for not getting the challenge correct. Like, that's another conversation I think we can have. But ultimately, my reaction was, does this feel early? Yes, but am I confident that they have done the work and the research at the lower levels in the independent leagues and the minor leagues to feel confident in rolling this out? I am also comfortable with that because we have seen it unfold. We saw it in spring training for a little bit. I witnessed it as far as the excitement element comes. The fans being locked in on a ball or a strike that could end the inning, that could end a big threat. Like, there's going to be an excitement factor when it comes to that as well. There's positional implications to have with a catcher and their responsibilities, because the responsibility of the catcher at this point is still, or his job is to still try to blur the lines of the zone for the umpire behind him. If I can blur the bottom of the strike zone and you don't know where that line of delineation is, I'm doing us a favor. So if you want to now challenge whether or not I'm blurring that, well, that's up to you. But the umpire he's not a moot point, right? She's not a moot point at this moment. It's about your confidence in strike zone awareness. Hoz, let me ask you this. You just got drafted. I am now telling you that when you get to rookie ball, when you get to the complex for the first taste of professional baseball, I'm informing you that through our sim games and through our live BP sessions and things of that nature, you will have the ability to challenge pitches. And what we're going to do is I'm going to be tracking that data on you. And after the first month or so worth of Hosmer at the professional level, the information is telling me that you don't have a single fucking clue about where this strike zone is based on you challenging these pitches in your live ABs and sim games. And so now what I'm doing is I'm getting a feel on a different level outside of plate discipline and what those numbers show me. I'm getting a feel for your strike zone awareness. Do you really know the strike zone? Because we have now implemented a defined zone that will be measured to the millimeter for each and every player, right? Because I know the conversation as well as Altuve getting the same calls that against him that Judge is. And it's been highlighted that Aaron Judge could very well be the biggest benefactor of this because nobody has had more calls go against them at the bottom of the strike zone than Aaron Judge. So now his willingness to go, nah, fuck you, that's a ball. Tap, tap, let's run that back. Now he can do that. But what would you think if very early on you're being judged or you're being analyzed and you find out that, fuck, I'm not as adept at the zone as I thought I was? What would your feeling be?
Yeah. I would love that, first of all, because it takes the doubt out of it for everybody, right? For the young Hoz that gets drafted, and I think I know the plate, I think I have good plate discipline, like that's going to tell me you don't. And you need to make an adjustment before going through a year of struggles in the major leagues to then make that adjustment. So I love it that saves it. And at the same time, in a big league game, if it's that, a change like a Zach Greinke late in his career, if he was getting 2-3 inches off the plate, he can just continue to pound that same spot. With a catcher like Tyler Flowers or somebody that's, doing the framing thing. And you're trying to tell the umpires back there, like, hey, like, come on, Jerry, that ball's outside. And then if you challenge one and they're right, that gives you a little more conviction in the argument. And I think the umpires will then make an adjustment. But the main thing is like, you don't want to see like an Aaron Judge get rung up on a strike 2, strike 3 that's, 6 inches outside with the game on the line. Like, as a baseball fan, I feel like that happened at one point in time last year during the postseason, and it just sucked. Like, you want to see the outcome. I don't know if it was Judge, it was another top hitter, but you want to see that outcome. I am surprised that it happened this early. Usually when they start testing stuff out in AAA and then bring it over to spring training, you're going to get it in a couple years, but it seems like they're kind of speeding this process up. And I think at the end of the day too, the umpires like it. I think the umpires like when they're on the field, having the ability to have the call overturned and it doesn't change the outcome. I think a lot of the umpires will appreciate this because they don't want to mess up games at the same time either.
Think about how much we've been talking about young talent entering the game at an early age. What has that young talent been doing? They have been forming a strike zone that has been defined by this very set of rules their entire professional career, only to get to the highest level where it's now back to the Wild West, where there is no strike zone. It's quite literally going to change from today to tomorrow. Tomorrow will be completely different. You're still going to hit, but you're going to be hitting in a completely different strike zone because that's this person's zone. It's not that person's zone. So now you have these young players who have been working on forming a feel for the strike zone, trying to show talent evaluators that they have plate discipline. They can separate balls from strikes. I can make positive swing decisions. And a lot of that has to do with the instrument that I have been playing these games in the parameters of. But now I'm in the big leagues, and my plate discipline that got me to the big leagues is now rendered useless. What the fuck? Why am I getting hosed at the game's highest level? That makes no sense. So now you finally are allowing these players to adapt at a level that is similar to the levels that they just came from. I mean, we've been doing it the whole time. It's a different fucking baseball, different feel for the ball. Seams are different. Once you get to the big leagues, it's a completely different ball game. Completely different. This is a layer of similarity that they will be able to, I think, make it a quicker adaptation to this level with.
The numbers in the minor leagues, I bet you Jayhay probably knows the answer to this, but what would you guess the number of pitches that were challenged, I guess the success rate of overturning it? What do you think that percentage rate was?
Man, I would leave it right at a 50-50 shot, honestly.
I would say north of 50. I'll give you a 62%.
52%.
52.
Yeah. So basically a coin flip. I don't know. I'd be interested to see the difference. Obviously, I'm sure there will be a slight difference between like major league hitters that are challenging these calls. But yeah, when it was tested out, it was 52% of the calls that were challenged were actually overturned. So
see, and this is where
how about when you got a fucking Jose Caballero that does this twice, and then Aaron Judge gets up there and runs out of challenges. How's that going to go down in the clubhouse?
So that's right there, Hoz. That's my point about when we start to work this through the minor league system, buddy. I'm gonna tell you right now, and candidly, I know teams have done this. I'll leave it at that. We're going to pull you guys together here today. All of you, thank you for coming. 23 of you do not have the freedom to challenge this.
Yeah.
I just want to make that abundantly clear. You, and the other 12 of you don't even fucking think about it. You want to know why?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the data. Here's the data from the sim games back in spring training. Here's the data from the live. No. You don't have a feel for the zone. And we are telling you as much. We'll check back in at Instructs. We'll check back in next spring training once we've worked our way through these sim games and live ABs, and we'll see if you've gotten any better. But if you haven't, do you think for one fucking minute I am going to give you the willpower and the free reign to make that decision? We saw it happen with Jared Kelnick. He went down. Nope. Fuck. All right, try again. Nope. Fuck. 0 for 2. We got one more left. Kelnick for the third time. Nope. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, no, that conversation's been had. You're not allowed to make those decisions. We have the guys that have the feel for the zone. When their at bat comes up in a tight situation, put it like this. Boys, unless you have somebody on base, runners in scoring position, and you're this dude who has met this criteria, you simply do not have challenges available to you. It's not yours. You want a challenge?
I agree with
Work
that.
harder at fucking defining the strike zone.
is that going to be the new, like, he didn't run it out to first type deal where it's like the Alex Verdugos of the world don't have a helmet tap to work with and then they use it anyway. And then it doesn't go in their favor and you get benched for that. Like, I feel like that's coming. That will happen.
That's where the punishment factor comes in when we're talking about, all right, well, what if you're up there just fucking, but you don't have one. Now what? Like, you think you just all willy-nilly get to start fucking tapping your head and praying for the best? Like, no, bro. That ain't happening. From a catcher's
you lose your helmet.
Yeah,
you lose your head. There you go.
But like I think it was
should be an internal.
I think it was Patrick Bailey that was talking about, taking a lot of responsibility off of his plate. And I think to myself, well, yes and no, because your job is to still blur the lines. So if you're doing your job, you're now making that decision for the hitter all the more difficult. So you still have to work on dressing it up back there, right? You still got to work on keeping me in a box back there and making it look pretty, but it's not for me. It's for the umpire, and it's really for the hitter. Because if every time he looks back and that glove is right at the borderline, right on the corner somewhere, you might not be as apt to give a little tappy tap.
Yep. I think it's going to cause turmoil between the catcher and the umpire, because I think so much, like they work together back there to get good looks, right? The catcher's trying to do it, and every now and then, like in a big spot, you would steal it. Now they do it all the time. So I think now when the umpire gets popped on a couple pitches that he thinks are, low and away, and the catcher keeps doing that, he's going to ask of him to stop doing that. And I think that's going to just create a bunch of turmoil between the catcher and the umpire.
Well, and no, that's a great point, Hoz. And eventually you're going to run out of challenges to even have that back and forth, right? So the umpire could kind of speed that up and go, all right, well, look, you think you're going to be doing this all day? That ain't going to fucking happen. Ha!
Yep.
Go back and look at it.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
All right. Do we have any award-winning Nugs today, Justin Havens?
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, they're not Casey Fossum Nugs and Tim Naring Nugs like we had.
That's
on
just
Justin
for the nuts.
Last. Yeah, those are special.
Oh, did I hear a Justin Dukeshire Nug? I was told to ask about a Justin Dukeshire Nug.
Yeah, you did get a Dukeshire Nug. Oh, you want it? I didn't write it down.
No, all right, well, good talk.
Well, I mean, I gave it to the fine fans at Just the Nuts last night.
Mm-hmm.
Where were
Don't
you?
worry about it. I was told to ask about it. So if you're cracking nuts and throwing away the shells, then that's on you.
I'll figure it out. The Nugs that are ready to go. Last night was the second time in Ohtani's career he's had a start with 0 runs, 0 walks in at least 6 innings pitched, and the first time since May 5th, 2022. That was at Fenway against the Red Sox. Taylor Ward hit his 35th homer of the season last night. That gives the Angels 2 players with 35 or more homers this year, him and Joe Adell. It's the third time in franchise history that multiple players have had 35 or more homers in a single season for the Angels. 2015, Pujols and Trout. 2000, Garrett Anderson, Troy Gloss, and Mo Vaughn. This is credit to OptaStats. They beat me to this one, but it's a Joe Ram stat, so I'm going to share it. Jose Ramirez has 100 runs, 30 homers, and 40 steals in 2025, becoming the first player in Major League Baseball history to record those figures in back-to-back seasons. And as previously noted elsewhere, he is the 4th player ever with multiple such seasons, joining Bobby and Barry Bonds, along with Alfonso Soriano. Riley Green is the 2nd Tigers player to have 35 or more homers and 110 or more RBI in his age 24 season or younger, joining Hall of Famer Hank Greenberg in 1935. James Wood, a little bit of a disappointing second half, but he became the 4th NL left-handed batter age 22 or younger to produce a season with 65 or more extra base hits and 15 or more stolen bases, joining Corbin Carroll in 23, Barry Bonds in 87, and Pinson in back-to-back years in 59 and 60. Juan Soto up to 42 homers and 36 stolen bases. It's the 6th season in Major League Baseball history featuring at least 42 and 36. Canseco, Bonds, A-Rod, Soriano, and Ohtani are the previous examples of that. O'Neal Cruz, 4th player in Pirates history, lower it to produce a 20-homer, 30 stolen base season, along with Barry Bonds, who did so 4 times, Andy Van Slyke, who did so twice, and Starling Marte, who did so in 2018. A couple of look-ahead Nugs. Great slate of pitching going today, by the way. I know Skeens and Hunter Green were previously mentioned, but the slate of elite-level arms is almost embarrassing today. Max Fried is one of them. He enters the start at 18-5 on the year. I know wins and losses are archaic, but still fun to note. He has a chance to become the 7th AL left-hander in the wild card era to rack up 19 or more wins with 5 or fewer losses, along with Snell in 18, Jay Happ in 2016, David Price in 12, Cliff Lee in 08, Zito in 02, and Unit in 97. And he'd be the first Yankees left-hander to do it since Ron Guidry in 1978. Matthew Boyd is back on the bump for the Cubs. He had a 2.2 ERA through his first 20 starts this season, but a 5.34 over his last 10. We'll see if he can get back on track. That's obviously against the Mets. Garrett Crochet, he's on the mound and will almost certainly hit the 200-inning mark for the season in this start. That will make him the 4th left-hander in AL history to produce a season with at least 200 innings pitched and a strikeout rate of 30% or greater, along with Chris Sale in 15 and 17, Randy Johnson in 95 and 97, and Johan Santana in 2004. And Blake Snell is also on the mound. His last 2 starts have been unbelievable. 13 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 runs, 4 walks, and 23 strikeouts. He is one of only 5 examples in Major League Baseball history to have multiple distinct 2-start stretches in his career featuring at least 23 strikeouts, but no more than 4 hits. Snell, as I said, has done it twice. Spencer Strider, he did it twice in 2022 alone. Max Scherzer did it twice in 2015. And then Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson both did it many, many times, too often to list. And those are the Nuggs.
Thank you, Justin Havens. Final thoughts, Eric Hosmer?
Snell might be the best pitcher of all time in the second half of baseball. You got to look up his numbers. They are stupid second half. No, tough day in Kansas City, boys. It's a tough day, tough night in Kansas City last night. Obviously, the Royals are eliminated from the postseason. Tough season because it felt like the AL wild card was so wide open. And obviously now we realize the Central was wide open too. But it's still credit to them, man. They went out and did all the right shit. They went and bought players in the offseason. They traded for guys. They're doing the right things over there. It was weird to think it was kind of a down year for Bobby, if that makes sense. I mean, he's still going to be, a top 5, top 3 MVP guy, but it just wasn't like the year that he put up last year. And then Vinny P. Vinny P is someone we got to show some love because Vinny P has had back-to-back seasons that we all know. I talk about Kauffman Stadium being a graveyard. Vinny went 30 and 100 this year. Could have easily done it last year before he got hurt with the thumb, and then he came back with the playoffs, or he came back early for the postseason. But Vinny P has solidified himself as one of the top bats in the postseason. And I'm not going to lie, I was sitting next to a big-time Red Sox fan at Fenway this year when they were playing the Royals, and he said, that's the fucking guy I want to go get the deadline right there. And Vinny P has been going off. So thank God we did not trade him to the Red Sox. And Vinny P, shout out to you because you've had a hell of a season, buddy. 2 seasons now you've put together, and that's not easy to do at Kauffman Stadium.
Well, if you traded him to the Red Sox, he'd be going to the fucking playoffs, Oz. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe you should have traded him. Maybe you should have. Maybe we would have.
We'll bounce back.
We would have clinched by now if we traded for Vinny P. The Red Sox can't fucking buy a hit with runners in scoring position. He's been driving in runs left and right. Dallas Braden, final thoughts?
Excited to watch Hunter Brown tonight. Hunter Brown, Luis Severino square off. The Astros sorely need a strong performance from Hunter Brown, something he has been delivering all season long. If the Astros are going to have any hope of not having to carve pumpkins and instead play baseball, they're going to need a good ball game tonight from Hunter Brown. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
My final thought, my bad. On the Monday episode, we just didn't even mention that Clayton Kershaw had announced that he's retiring at the end of the season. I don't know how. I guess it's probably because it happened on Friday, and then by Monday morning, it feels like forever ago. But it happened after we recorded on Thursday and before we recorded on Monday. But it felt like a lifetime previous to that. So I think when it's all said and done for Kersh, I think we'll do like a big send off. I don't think that time is now, especially at the end of a podcast. That's not like where it comes in, but just an acknowledgement that I fucked up not bringing it up on Monday, that he had announced this will be his final season, his final regular season start as a Dodger, walked off the mound to a big ovation, did not have the lead against the Giants, but then Ohtani backed him up. I think it was a 3-run bomb, and then Mookie hit one right after that. So they ended up getting the win. Dodgers offense picked up Clayton, who, I mean, it was still a good start. I think, it was like a 2-1 ball game when he came out of the game. But yeah, we'll do a whole fucking send off for Kersh when the time comes, but that time has not yet arrived. He's still, he's got some postseason games to pitch in, and who knows, maybe that's part of his storybook ending, is that he goes out in the postseason and turns in some real good ones. So we'll see. TBD. But we will revisit that. Jayhay, your final thought?
Yeah, I found my Justin Dukeshire Nugg.
Oh, please. Yeah, thank God.
Definitely worth it, too. It's not like really a stupid stat at all. So I looked at the lowest K per nines in the wild card era for a season of at least 22 games started with an ERA below 2.60. And the only lower Caper Nines were Derek Lowe in 2002 and Doug Fister's magical season for the Nationals in 2014. So Justin Duchscherer, very effective with not many strikeouts in at least 22 starts in 2008 for the A's. So congrats to him.
Congrats to him.
Was that worth it, D?
I got to be honest, a little left to be desired, but I mean,
that note obviously sucks. Yeah, we were just having
that obviously sucks.
We were just
Justin
having a good time
Duchscherer,
last night. Yeah.
Let's remember, one of a very small group to make the All-Star team as a starting pitcher and as a reliever.
Wow. Shout out to him. Shout him out.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow with Bob Kendrick, two-time BID guest Bob Kendrick on the podcast tomorrow. Very excited for that interview. A very special thank you to Eric Hosmer for making the time to come on Baseball is Dead today. We will see you hopefully next week. You never know. We're at the mercy of baby number 3 right now. We don't know. Could be
there.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen if possible.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen if it's possible. But thank you so much for making the time today, and we'll see all you guys tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
We on.